Parenting with borderline personality disorder, I find, is very controversial, and people who have BPD tend to say things like, I don't want to genetically predispose my child to BPD, or I don't want to ruin somebody else. I think the biggest misconception to this is people think that a child can be predisposed to the disorder itself, when BPD actually isn't a single genetic trait, such as eye color, where eye color can be determined off of one or two specific genes. For example, if you have borderline personality disorder and you have a child, they could potentially be born with a genetic predisposition or vulnerability to emotional sensitivity, impulsivity, and reactivity. This does not mean that they're predisposed to BPD itself. It just means that their cup of tolerance is much smaller to start out with. But just because you have BPD does not mean that your child will automatically have the predisposition of genetics or the disorder. So the genetics may load the gun, but the environment for that child is what pulls the trigger. Life experiences that fill that cup, such as chronic invalidation, abuse, neglect, an unstable life at home, or maybe watching their parents separate, can cause that cup to overflow, which can cause trauma. Trauma is anything that overwhelms your nervous system and your ability to cope in the moment. When those environmental factors exceed that child's capacity to cope, it can develop into BPD. This was one of my biggest fears when I became a parent, because I didn't want to pass on my BPD to my child. And my therapist told me, even if you did pass on those genes to your child, if your child has a safe and nurturing environment, it is far less likely for those genes to express themselves and turn into BPD. If genetics and borderline personality disorder is an interesting topic to you, let me know if you want a part 2.